Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you right now is, quite frankly, we've got them. We just proved that the ATF absolutely has a gun database, absolutely has a gun registry, and the best part is, CNN proved it because they were so busy getting a quest out there for information about the shooter or would-be assassin of Donald Trump. You can't make what I'm about to show you up, and just wait until I show you all the things that we've uncovered right here. It's going to be delicious. Now, of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, send this to everyone that you know, because it undoubtedly proves what they've been feeding us is a lie, and what I'm about to show you is also a lie. So, per usual, as is our new custom, don't let this guy eat your subscription. That's the YouTube algorithm. He feasts on the unwitting, the unknowing. You're in there trusting the YouTube algorithm is going to alert you to the newest 2A prescription of freedom on this channel, and he's been eating and snacking on your subscription. So make sure that his gluttony is not satiated with your subscription status, and make sure that button is still on. But with that said, let's get him out of here because no one likes that guy. I have got to show you this. Look at this from CNN. Bear with me. We got Dettlebot coming up. We got CNN. We got GOA. It's all going to come together. Now, how the ATF identified the Trump rally shooter in 30 minutes. 30 minutes from a phone call, they determined the identity of an individual based off of the serial number of a gun. Wait for it. We've got more. All right, so let me jump right over to my good friends at GOA. They had quite the kerfluffle about this recently. As you can see, Gun Owners of America last week, we were talking about the representatives who were saying that the ATF had an illegal registry. I'm going to read something very important for you. ATF HQ is violating the law. Representative Clyde just read the statute prohibiting ATF from creating a gun registry. He also points out that the ATF has a digital, searchable database of 1 billion records anyway. That's an illegal gun registry. Now, that number, 1 billion, keep that in mind, and this is where you want to send this to all of your friends, because we're about to prove everything that they're telling you is a lie. So, let me get that out of here. I'm going to come back to the CNN article in 1 second. So let me jump him out. Let me put this up. And this is Steve Dettlebot. You may be familiar with his work. This is the guy, the director of the ATF, who knows nothing about guns, but sure does make a lot of rules about them. Listen to what he says in reference to said database that doesn't exist. Listen, I got 2 clips of his.
Okay, how does that really happen in real life? The way it doesn't happen is we punch in a person's name and up comes, oh, they own so many guns. Congress has prohibited us from doing that. So instead, we have a system of records where we have to go through those records. Every year we probably get in, first of all, we don't have all the records. The gun dealers keep the records, most of them. If they go out of business, they send them to us, millions and millions a month. And we have to keep them in. I'm the only customer, ATF is, of Adobe Acrobat. We pay somebody to take out search function, to remove search function that other customers have to in order to comply with the congressional notion that there can't be a gun registry, the law.
Okay, so we've firmly planted from GOA and from the ATF director that there cannot be a registry of gun owners in the United States, or guns in the United States. Firmly planted on that. Would you agree? Let me know in the comments if I'm landing this plane, because that's the first thing from Stevie. So let me get the first thing out here and put up the second one. Now, this is a clip of Steve Dettlebot, again, director of the ATF at Harvard, when he was talking to the Institute of Politics, talking to them like they were children, and walking through how they actually search those things. Remember, millions upon millions of records per month. Well, listen to this. This is where they talk about staples. Very high-end stuff. Then we'll get to the actual CNN article, which outs them.
Congress has told us that we can trace crime guns too. So we can trace them to the first retail sale, which sort of gets, Congress has set limits on how much data we can keep. I am the only, and we can't have a firearms registry. There's a law that says ATF can't have a firearms registry. Right. So I am the only, as far as I know, I'm the only customer of Adobe Acrobat who we at ATF pay them extra money to remove search function from their product so that we can comply with what Congress has mandated. And so we have, every time there's a trace run, It is done literally by a person going through either records that are scanned in, looking at them one by one, or running into the boxes and boxes and boxes of records we keep, or getting on the phone with the many currently in business firearms dealers, asking them to read to us or provide to us a Form 44.
Busted. He just said that every time a trace was run, remember, trace, every time a trace is run, an individual goes in and looks for it line by line. All the individuals had with the attempted assassin was a serial number. There was no identifying credentials on the individual. So it was only a serial number. So, per what he said, per ATF, and per GOA, they cannot have a registry. GOA, once again, this is where it starts to pay off, and CNN basically outs the ATF. So again, billions of records in total, millions upon millions are coming in every single month, and Steve Dettelbach just said on this video right here that he has to have someone do it manually. Well, now the payoff. So if we're sitting and setting up camp here, how the ATF identified the Trump rally shooter in 30 minutes? Well, I've got a couple points highlighted for you, and you tell me when they start to out themselves. Within 30 minutes of the shooting at Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally on Saturday, federal law enforcement used a Byzantine paper record system to track down decade-old gun sale records to help identify the 20-year-old would-be assassin. So what they are actually telling you is that in 30 minutes, they made a phone call, and out of billions of records, well, excuse me, not billions, that's too aggressive, a billion records, a billion. They went through manually, finger by finger, hand by hand, line by line, with a serial number, and they found it in 30 minutes. All right, okay, maybe there's more. Oh, there is. Let's keep going. It's a process that has been used for several other high-profile and time-sensitive investigations. Here, let me get a little zoomed in for you here. After the Highland Park, Illinois mass shooter fled in 2022, police used the ATF tracking system on a firearm he left at the scene to learn his identity. And police used a firearm that bystanders wrestled away from the man who shot and killed 11 people in Monterey Park, California to identify him. Quote, in situations where we have high-profile shootings and where firearms are recovered, the local ATF offices can request an emergency trace for the weapons found at the crime scene, Gallagher said. Well, hold on a second. There's trace again. So when you run a trace, per Steve Dettelbach, an individual goes through the boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes, a direct quote, of old 4473s, of a billion records with no searchable database function, and they find it in 30 minutes. Awkward pause for effect. All right, here's some more. In an era of high-tech evidence gathering, including location data and a trove of evidence from cell phones and other electronic devices used by shooting suspects, ATF agents have to search through paper records to find a gun's history. That's weird because there it is again with paper records. In some cases, those records have been kept on microfiche or were, I think it's microfiche, I don't know, it's older technology, and were held in shipping containers, sources told CNN, especially for some of the closed business records like in this case. So now it's not only in paper form, it's not only in a box, it's also in a shipping container, all on paper, and they found it in 30 freaking minutes amongst a billion records. Okay, maybe they're just magic. Maybe they have some magic little squirrel that just pumps out information. It's called a computer, but no big deal, whatever. But the urgent ATF trace Saturday proved indispensable in identifying the Pennsylvania shooter, giving authorities a key clue towards his identity in less than half of an hour. Quote, ATF completed an urgent trace through ATF's National Tracing Center based on out-of-business records from a closed gun dealer, the ATF said in a statement Sunday. Results were provided to the FBI and Secret Service in less than 30 minutes that helped identify the shooter. They are either ignorant or they think we're stupid. Anyway, last thing. I believe this is the last thing. Yeah, here it is. Agents tracked the AR-15 style rifle the shooter used to a 2013 purchase, so 11 years ago, from the now closed dealer, also a closed dealer, which would be in a box in a shipping container. Sources familiar with the investigators' findings told CNN. The revelation added to complications for the FBI, ATF, and other agencies who were trying to identify the gunman after he was shot and killed by the Secret Service sniper. Now let me get that out of here, and I'm just going to talk to you flat face to face. In summation, the ATF, the agency who tells us they do not have a database that is searchable, it's just happened to be files that are scanned in digitally. There's a billion of those files with a B. Some of them from older out-of-business dealers are inside boxes in paper format inside of an actual rail car or some sort of storage container. And you're telling me, per Steve Dettelbach's own words in his interviews in both of those, that they have no database, they have no digital way, they have no searchable function. They just have someone that goes manually, piece by piece by piece, looking for a serial number amongst a billion two-page documents, front and back, and they found it in 30 minutes. I mean, guys, I don't know how else I can frame that. I really hoped I landed that plane, but if that does not show you that there is something that they can do very quickly, somebody's lying. I don't know who it is, but somebody. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I landed that plane, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.